Hey Privateers, it's the Captain Skull 87C. We are back with another video. It feels like I'm just dropping a bunch of stuff this week, but let's not worry about that. Well, pretty much, actually let's worry about that. We're launching another segment, but don't worry, this segment isn't tied to how many people like it or how many views we get. This one is actually going to stay as a part of the channel. We are doing anime reviews. And I posted some stuff on my personal Facebook as well as on the Facebook page. I should have put it on Twitter, but I actually wanted a faster response, and a lot of close friends and people who follow me on Facebook, a lot of my old friends from school and everything, they respond to me pretty fast when they see me post, because I usually post memes, so they're like, oh snap, oh there's a post, let me read this, you know. But the comebacks, I keep going off on tangents, come back like a boomerang. The first suggestion we got was SAO. I saw that in the list and I personally cringed, but in the spirit of just anime, I love anime, I can't really turn down just anything. It's not as bad as other shows I've seen, so we're not here for the bullshit. Let's set sail. Let's go ahead and start. We are reviewing Sword Art Online, also known as SAO. Whew! SAO dropped, the anime dropped about 2012. It's actually based off a light novel series written by, let's see, I'm probably going to butcher his name. Reki. I'm gonna get it back. I'm gonna get it. I'll butcher his name. Don't worry about it. It's Reki something. Whatever. There's like 18 volumes. It's a long running series. I think the last one came out about 2014. So it's been a little bit of time since like the latest book. He's probably working on some more. ASC II Media Works did a publication of their localized version, and then Yen Press translated it, and they run the English release. The anime was the animation was done by A1 Pictures. One take is all we do. A1 Pictures, and has a long running series. They pretty much covered the early couple of books in the anime. They covered Aincrad, which is the very first part of Sword Art Online, the series, and then they also covered Alfheim Online, which is the very little game, and then they just recently did, their most recent season is the Gun Gale arc, but I'm going to review the story arcs in separate pieces rather than have one long video. I'd rather be able to put more focus in the specific parts. So if you guys want more SAO reviews, I'm going to do the Aincrad story arc first, and then the Alfheim, and then Gun Gale, so I can actually go back, rewatch, review, and actually figure out what I like and what I dislike. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna start off with a synopsis, and then story, animation, design, characters, and then the plot overall, and then we'll give it a final. We'll swoop back in for the final thingy. This is how we're gonna do it. It's the first run, but you gotta get your feet wet. All right. So the synopsis for Sword Art: in the year 2022, in the not so distant future, about 5 years from now, there is a VR MMORPG called SAO, Sword Art Online. And in this future, there's this device called Nerve Gear. It's a helmet you put on and taps into your senses, connects to your mind and all that. And it allows you to actually full dive into this game. And it's pretty cool. It's created by, I forgot the name. The character's last name was Kaiba. See, that's another thing, the story, the characters aren't that important to me, so I will forget names. I'll get into that. It was good for them. Now, we follow the main character, Kazuto Kirigaya, but he goes by the name Kirito. It's a mashed up, what's it called, an anagram, I think? It's a mashed up of his name, first name and last name, and he is a beta test. He's one of the first 1,000 people that are able to get early access to the game. So he got the beta test the game, play it early. That kind of goes into the story because it kind of gives him a rough time in the beginning. And in the beginning of the game, when the game launches, it's extremely popular. Everybody's going to get it, and that's where the kicker hits. so to speak. Alright, yeah, they have fun. He meets this one guy named Klein, one of his friends, that he trains him, shows him how to do a couple things in the game, and then they kind of like, alright, well, thanks, man, I got something to do, so I guess if you want to hang out some other time. And alright, so they're about to break away. He's like, okay, that's cool for a first episode, that's cute. And then he tries to log out, and that's where the actual issue begins. That's where the big overarching problem, the antagonistic idea, that they're trying to escape this game, and you cannot. And if you die in the game, you die in real life. If you die in the game, a signal is sent to your nerve gear helmet, which will, I think, send a microwave blast of thing to your brain. Pretty much it'll melt your brain. So now everybody who's trapped in this game, they're trying to survive together. And when I first discovered this anime, way back in 2012 in high school and everything, I was like, oh shit, that sounds pretty cool. Because me personally, guys, everybody, I am a big fan of anime, but I lean more towards the psychological, the sci-fi, action, shonen, but like really gritty anime. Like if you were to ask me my favorite 2 anime, it's Ghost in the Shell and Shaman King. So you can tell like the A to B. There's shonen, okay, it's Shaman King, shonen manga, wasn't Jump magazine, and from 0 to Ghost in the Shell, psychological, Are We Even Alive, like, you know. So, but I love video games, so that kind of influenced how I like anime. So when I hear anime where people are trapped in the game, and if you die in the game, die in real life, that kind of appealed me, pulled me in personally. So I watched the anime, and then I rewatched it for you guys. So I watched it. The first 2 episodes were really interesting, but what really affected me, which kind of bummed out the story for me, was how Kirito was too calm in the beginning. If you got trapped in the game and you were told that if you die in the game, you die in real life, I'd be freaking the hell out. But he's too calm. Like if you were to watch it, you can see stress, but everybody else is on a different level of stress, a different playing field compared to what he is. And I didn't really work well with that. As a main character, you're kind of responsible to show a bit more emotion. So because I'm not there with you, we're not there with you, so I can't feel the energy, I can't talk to you, you're not talking to me, you're just talking out loud, I'm watching your story. So I need you to kind of go above and beyond to show more emotion, so it's a bit easier to identify with. Oh man, like there's a girl screaming her lungs out because she's scared, she's freaking out, people are committing suicide because they don't know how to handle it. That sets the tone that this is serious. You die, like on Hunter x Hunter level tone. Like you die, they will throw hands, you will die. So in the first couple episodes kind of shows Kirito in the beginning of his journey trying to he's a solo player. He doesn't really like rolling with groups because he feels that's this extra weight. And that the first 2 episodes, he kind of joins a bunch of other players, and they're trying to fight one earlier bosses in the game. And because he's a beater, he knows how the boss reacts, but he didn't specify what happened. He said it was too late, and the leader of the raid party died, and he refused to get healed. So because of that, Kirito and Hui and the girl who she's like wearing a cloak, but we later know that's another character he's gonna be cool with down the road. And he gets the last hit item, which is a black cloak, and Kirito's like, how did you know that? You're a cheater. Oh no, you're one of those beta testers. So you're a cheater and a beta tester, so you're a beater. I was like, what kind of name is that? And it really kind of affects him in a certain way, because then now it kind of pushes him away further from other people in the game. But it kind of comes back, and he meets this one little group of people, and there's a girl named Sachi. Yeah, Sachi. And so he's cool with them. He doesn't tell them his actual level because he's afraid that since his level's too high, they might not want to roll with him because they might think he's too much, or and because that he's not really able to talk and communicate differences and explain things, they go look for some treasure. So they'll go looking for loot and everything, and they go into this one room, and there's a chest in it, and they open the chest, but it turns out the chest is trapped, and they're surrounded by enemies, and everybody in that little party dies except for Kirito, and that kind of traumatized them. So because of that, it messes them up even more. But that's where the story kind of flips in like the sense of seriousness, because it goes straight from that to, oh, he meets the girl who was wearing a cloak. Her name is Austin. He meets Asuna. Asuna's cool. She's part of one of the really big guilds, Knights of the Blood Oath and everything. And he meets all these other characters, Lisbeth, the girl with the little dragon and everything. I forgot her name because she wasn't that important of a character to me, in my opinion. Lisbeth was pretty cool because the parody, the Sword Art Online parody, makes me remember her because that one meme and everything's hilarious. When she's trying to force the sword, it's playing that one song from a Guilty Gear. But that's another joke. And that is kind of where I honestly dropped the series when I first watched it, but I came back because I still have that manga where I'm reading a book or a manga or a comic. If I start it, I have to finish it. It irritates me until I finish it, and even the ending is bad. At least I completed the series, so I can just leave it alone. So I kept watching it, and I was just like, wait a second, what happened to the seriousness? I mean, I get it. Sometimes you might feel a bit better or something might happen. You're not upset anymore because you're with these people that make you feel like you're still with people. You're not alone. But now I'm just like, what happened to the seriousness? And they even say it themselves in one episode, things slow down when people aren't really worried about trying to get home or trying to escape the game anymore. That's when I lose interest. I'm like, what happened to all this? What happened to You Might Die? And then it even gets worse. Like, it kind of devolves into a harem, so to speak. To where every time Kirito meets a character, it's usually a female. He has like 2 male friends, Klein, and then this one black dude that kind of runs a shop, like a bar, like a shop. He runs a shop, and you only see him a couple of times, but they don't really have him in there. He has a bigger part, and I would say the elf story arc, the elf game, the fairy game story arc. But in the first one, he kind of just runs a shop, and they visit him every now and then. It's mainly this Kirito Asuna with a couple of their side friends going along their journey, try to get to the 100th floor. That's the premise of the game. If you can get to the final floor and beat the boss, you free everybody who's been trapped. Sounds simple, but they kind of just forget it. Now, one thing I do like about it is that with every episode or every moment in time, it's not like a constant, we'll keep constantly following a story, like chapter to chapter. It'll be like, let's say there's an event, they go defeat an enemy, and then commercial break. Come back from commercial, it cuts to like a week later or like a couple of days later, and then they're on a different floor number. They're on like floor 72 at a little inn hotel, and that's pretty cool. It kind of lets you breathe, and I like that. I'll give you that. But if you go around and every time there's no where's the pool, why am I should be worried about you guys. I don't feel worried. I feel like SEO could improve in the first arc if they kind of showed what's happening outside the game, like how are people's family reacting to their loved ones, their siblings, their spouses being trapped in the game. And so, you know, I'm pretty sure somebody went, oh, if I pull the helmet off, they're fine, and they get killed. So it's like, okay, so there's already reports people dying, pull off the helmet. How am I going to react to this? Their body's deteriorating because they're stuck in kind of a comatose state inside of the game. They don't really show the weight of the situation until it's like at the very beginning and at the very end when they fight Heathcliff, or the actual creator of the game, who is disguised as the leader of the guild Asuna was in. And that's pretty much the story. There's not really too much of a story. It's just guy's a beta tester, gets trapped in the game, makes it through. There's a harem involved. Drops the harem because he likes one character. He falls in love with Asuna. They get married. Like, the next serious thing that actually pulled me back in was when they find a girl in the forest. Her name is Yui. She's actually a program that's supposed to support players when they go through emotional trauma and everything, but she wasn't allowed to. So she's been watching all these people have psychological breakdowns in different events, and she can't actually go. She would go straight to the player and try to comfort them. So they find her wandering in the woods. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So maybe she can actually explain to them. And she later does. When they first find her, she passes out. She wakes up. I don't remember anything. Well, who are you? My name's Yui. All right. And Yui's like, who are you? Well, I'm Asuna. And she's like, Anna. I'm like, okay, so she can't really pronounce anything. She was like a child. So you assume, okay, she's like a little child. You know, it's kind of hard to be upset. We see a little baby walk up to you. You can actually be like, oh, hey, little kiddo. That's a cool little plot point. And then she calls Kirito Kito. And she's like, all right, well, what's the easier name for you to call us? And she calls them their parents. So now like Kirito and Asuna, they're married in the game. They adopted a little program daughter, but they didn't know that she was a program until like about an episode or 2 episodes later. When she remembers everything, she tells them that I'm a program designed to help people, but since I saved you guys from a monster is about to attack them, she stopped and deleted the monster. The program's about to erase her. She gets erased, but Kirito pulls some elite hacker shit, and that's where I'm gonna step off into the first thing that I really, besides the whole he was calm, the first thing that I didn't like about the series was how Kirito is. I actually even wrote it down. I wrote it down and everything. I call him the god tier protagonist. Now, in other anime like Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, the characters have abilities that make them strong, and that's cool. But at the same time, there's weaknesses. Like Naruto, he has a demon inside. He has the 9-tailed fox spirit inside him, so he's really strong. He's strong as shit, but at the same time, he's a knucklehead. He doesn't really think. He's not smart. He's not smart like that. He doesn't really think on his feet, so you can catch him off guard. Ichigo, he wants to save and protect people, but he doesn't, like I say, he doesn't think. He doesn't see the whole picture, so it's easier to cut him off guard and be like, fam, you're always trying to protect somebody, but you're not working on yourself. You know, go train a bit before you start complaining about, I want to protect this one girl because she saved my life, you know? But with Kirito, it's like, oh, don't worry, I know how to fight this boss exactly, so I don't feel like there's a struggle in it. Kind of puts like a barrier between me watching these characters evolve and trying to like survive, because shows like The Walking Dead or shows like where there's a running theme like we're just trying to survive this one apocalyptic event or this one event lets me know like these characters, anything can happen to him. You might like him, the next episode he's gone. Like Attack on Titan, for example, you might like him, the next episode this guy's dead. You're just like, shit, there's a lot of weight, you know. I can't really like too many people, or I can't really like emotionally be attached to characters because they will be gone in an instant, you know. And that was like, and I already mentioned how the story evolves into a harem, and that really upsetted me, because now I'm just like, what happened? Like, pretty much the running theme was, where is the seriousness? But to not really dick on the series, because the series actually has a lot of great, beautiful, spectacular pros to kind of fight the cons. Like the music was done by Yuki Kajiura. I probably butchered that, and I apologize. I'm sorry, but the music is so wonderful, because when they fight, what's that one, when Kirito first, and kind of go back to where I'm saying he's kind of the god tier protagonist, he's the only person in the game with a dual sword wielding skill, and they're fighting this one boss called the Gleam Eyes. It's like a big ass demon with horns, kind of like a minotaur, and he has a giant buster sword, and he's whooping ass. And Kirito and Asuna and Klein, they're trying to go save people because this one little group wants to rush in, even though they're already tired, and they don't really listen to them. So they're trying to go save them, and it goes bad. But Kirito's like, give me 10 seconds, and he's alright, switch out, and he starts whipping out this 50-hit combo on this boss that has like 4 health bars, and he defeats him with like less than 1 HP, like a sliver of health left. I was just like, that's cool and all, and I personally was turned off, but the music had me invested. The music was so wonderful. There's at least 3 OSTs off the top of my head that if I heard them, I automatically know it's about to get real. I'm about to throw hands, you know. On top of the music being really good, one thing I did like was the combat. Though I didn't necessarily like how the characters would use the combat would feel kind of cheesy. The combat was designed really flashy, it looks appealing, it's poppy. The lights, it's like when they're using a sword, they're using the ability, the sword glows green or yellow or red, like it glows a color, and it's really poppy. It makes you look at what they're about to do, and they'll say the move or they'll do the move. It's kind of cool how different people have different moves. Like Asuna, she has a rapier. She's practically Martha in my opinion, or Lucina in my opinion, and she has like a multi-hit, kind of like a jab combo. And you see her jab with the sword, but there's this green energy, which is like multiple stabs, sword strikes that kind of follow her. So it's kind of cool to see that. And when Kirito's doing his Starburst Steam multi-hit combo, you see all the slice marks and everything. It's really cool to see that, and not everybody else has this. Later on in the series, that kind of does come back, like how it looks appealing, especially in the Fairy arc and the Gun Gale game. And another thing I did like was the general idea of the story. You're trapped in the game because it was back a couple years back. That was kind of a fresh take on things. Because normally you've already seen characters getting mystically transported to another time or another like game, a world where there's a game involved. And now if you see that in like 2017, it's another game. It's another game thing, anime. He gets trapped in the game, has to find his way out. But a few years back, that was kind of fresh and it was different. And there's a bunch of light novels too, so you already know there's a bunch of things to come back to. And another, my third and final thing that I did enjoy from the anime was the character design. The character designs weren't too flashy, but they weren't too minimal. They were just good enough. They were really good to where you can animate it. They could easily animate it. And it was good. Like, the most difficult character design that I think I saw was Heathcliff, or the creator of Sword Art Online, Akihiko Kaiba. He was disguised as the leader of the Knights of the Blood. Oh, Heathcliff. And he's this one, looks like a Templar knight with the red armor and the shield with the red cross, and the shield looks like a big cross. So no, he's pretty cool. Though I didn't like his character because it was a god mod. So it was pretty much him and Kirito fought towards the end of the first arc, and it was just like, okay, so it's a god tier versus a god tier, and Kirito has him on the ropes, and then he pulls some god mod developer bullshit where Kirito's about to catch him off guard, but he moves his shield in the way just to block it, but from where the shield was, it was all the way like out. Like, you normally wouldn't have enough reaction how to move it. So that irritated me, but that was a plot point rather than just kind of BSing it. And well, to sum it all off, Sword Art Online, also known as SAO, it isn't a bad anime. At the time it was fresh, but now it just isn't cutting edge, and in its own subgenre of character being teleported to another game world, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Now, if you guys are looking for anime that are kind of like characters sent to a game world, I would try ReZero. I plan on doing a review on that later on. I know Jumpsuit. I know a lot of people recommend it. ReZero. I'm like, don't worry, I'll review that ReZero because it actually is a fresh series. And every time Jumpsuit comes over, he recommends ReZero. Like, he's actually like trying to hold a gun to my head. Not necessarily, but you know, whatever. ReZero. I also recommend the Dot Hack series. I grew up with the Dot Hack series. I love the Dot Hack. The OVAs are beautiful. The normal series is greatest too. And if you're looking for another, it's kind. I wouldn't say it's like SAO, but they're teleported. They get stuck in the game, but it's more serious. And I would say it's a bit more political. There's a lot of talking. There's a bit of padding, but you actually get to see how these people actually work a series, like an economic system, political system, how different races like talk out and exchange with other races and everything. That is Log Horizon. I highly recommend Log Horizon. I love the intro. It's really poppy and it's great. Now, to sum everything up, I'm going to do a run through. We have a 5-point system, so like, 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5. I don't really want to get stuck at 10, try to figure out the perfect number from 1 through 10. 1 through 5 sounds, it's short, sweet, simple. The plot for SAO, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Not too bad, not too good, just there. The animation and design, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. That was really good. The characters looked nice, especially compared to like if you were to look at the manga or the book covers, you can see a bunch of poppy things, but they kept it simple but made it look true to form. Really true to form. The characters themselves, I didn't really care. There was only a couple characters that I would watch. I liked Yui. I like Klein because he was silly and funny. He was kind of like a plot point for comedic effect, humor, kind of ease the tension. But like I said, 80% of the series lost tension, and I just kind of lost the will to finish it. But I finished it back then. I rewatched it for you guys. Now the audio, the sound design, the soundtrack, this beautiful. 5 out of 5 for the soundtracks. I loved it. The music really had me hyped and everything. Now, overall, I'm going to give Sword Art Online SAO a 3.5 out of 5. Am I going to recommend it to anybody? If you have the itch for a simplistic character gets trapped in a game world survival story with a bit of a harem and a love story overarching, yes, I'd recommend it through that. But if you're looking for something a bit more mature and serious, I'd try Doc Hack or Log Horizon. Alright guys, if you like the video, don't forget to drop 10 likes. Comment below what animes you guys want me to review, watch, you know, because I actually like doing this type of thing. It's actually really cool to actually, you know, focus and think about it. And we're going to see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys take it easy. Stay beautiful.